So we start with Unit 4, Opposition to British Rule in Karnataka. Now before we start this chapter, we will try to understand what was the condition of Karnataka before integration. Okay, so before integration, what was the condition of Karnataka? Now before integration, your integration. Okay, now before integration, what it was, the present Karnataka, it was scattered among various principalities. Okay, now apart from establishing your supremacy, that is your political supremacy, during the later part of the 18th century, the Britishers, they used to exploit the people. Okay, exploitation was there by the Britishers in the field of agriculture and trade, in the field of agriculture, trade and other your activities which were of their interest. Their interest means the Britishers' interest, right? And this exploitations, it created insecurities among the local kings. Okay, this exploitation, it created insecurities among the local kings. And at that time, what happened, this local kings, as a result, they started your standing against the British, and it happened in most part of Karnataka, right? Now during that time only, what has happened, in the beginning, the zamidars and the kings, they used to fight separately. Okay, because they didn't have unity among them. They didn't have unity among them, so they used to fight separately. And what happened, Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. Okay, now we are talking about Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. They both have used the entire strength of Mysore kingdom, and they have fought against the British. Okay, Hyder Ali and who? Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. They both have fought against the British by using the entire strength of the Mysore kingdom. And slowly, now in the next part, we will see that how Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan have mounted a lot of difficulties in front of the Britishers. Right. So now we come to the next topic, that is Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. Now here we will be seeing, if you see in your textbook, it is given that in page number 31, it is given that the 18th century is considered as the century of political problems. The century of political problems, right? Now why this is so? Why is the 18th century? So the century of political problem is which century? 18th century. Now why 18th century is called the century, is considered to be the century of political problems? Because there are many reasons for that. Now in that, the major reason which is there is the death of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Okay, the death of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. So Aurangzeb died at that time. So that was considered as the that is the main reason behind which the 18th century was considered as the century of political problems. Now besides this, what happened when Aurangzeb died in the year 1707? The Mughal Empire became weak. Okay, and the Mughal, since they became weak, they have lost control over the South India, right? As a result, what happened, several other political struggles have started taking place in the Carnatic region, right? And eventually what happened, before this could happen, the death of your Chikka Devaraj Wadiyar in 1704 have also created the problem of succession and administration in Mysore. Now all these problems together have clouded together or mounted together the politics of Mysore. This is the reason why the why 18th century is considered as the century of political problems. First is the death of Aurangzeb, right, in the year 1707, which has made the Mughal Empire weak, for which Mughal Empire has lost its control over your South India, and after that only, as a result of that, what has happened? Political struggles have started in different regions of Karnataka. And before this could happen, the death of Chikkadevaraj Wadiyar in the year 1704, in the same year, okay, in the year 1704, it has also created the problem of succession and administration in Mysore, right? Now all these developments, it has mounted together to the politics of Mysore, and so the 18th century is considered as the century of political problems, right? Now we come to study about your Hyder Ali. Now, who is Hyder Ali? Now, Hyder Ali is known for his innovations in arms usage. Okay, innovations in arms usage. Right. So now what happened here? Hyder Ali, he joined the army, right? The Mysore army as a soldier. Slowly what happened when he came into prominence, that is when he when he became more powerful, what has happened during that time only, he became the Delvoi. Now, who is the Delvoi? Delvoi is the commander in chief. Okay. Now, when he became the Delvoi, what did he do? He has sidelined King Krishnaraj Wadiyar the second. Okay, and he has taken control over the administration, right? So this was what happened. At the same time, the Nawab of Arcot, Marathas, and Nizam of Hyderabad, they were fighting among themselves to establish supremacy over each other. Okay, now these three parts, that is the Nawab of Arcot, Marathas, as well as the Nizam of Hyderabad, they were fighting among themselves only to establish supremacy over each other, so that they can preserve their political existence. For political, the fight was political, so that they exist politically. That is the reason they were fighting. Now the British and the French, they were also attempting to exploit these divisions for their own benefit. Now we see here, everyone is fighting for their own benefit. No one is thinking for the state or for their respective kingdom. Everyone is fighting for their own benefits, right? So this is all about Hyder Ali. Now we come here to the next topic, which is given in your textbook, that is First Anglo-Mysore War. Okay, First Anglo-Mysore War. Anglo-Mysore War. Now here what happened? The first Anglo-Mysore War was fought. It started in the year 1767, right? And it ended in the year, started in the year 1767, ended in the year 1769. It ended in the year 1769. Now, what has happened here? When Hyder Ali was started gaining you can say, when he started gaining the popularity, this was not liked by the British, the Marathas, and the Nizam of Hyderabad, right? So what did they do? They three have joined, the Britishers, the Marathas, and the Nizam of Hyderabad. They three have joined hands together, and they came forward and attacked Mysore. But Hyder Ali, as we have seen, as we have studied about him, he was very clever, so he could break this alliance, and he made all three separate, right? Then what happened after this? After the separation, political disturbances started in Arcot. Okay, political disturbances started in Arcot. So in 1767, Hyder Ali and Nizam of Hyderabad, they both attacked Arcot. And when they have attacked Arcot, the war started. The king of Arcot, he went and joined hands with the Britishers. And now the incident started from, the fight started from here only. Right. Now, after that, what happened? The king of Arcot have joined hands with the Britishers. And Hyder Ali, he attacked the British and made them reach made them reach up to Madras, and he has forced the British. Hyder Ali have forced the British to sign an agreement with him. Now, what is that agreement? That agreement is called the Madras Treaty. Treaty means agreement, okay? Madras Treaty. Now, this Madras Treaty, what is there in this agreement? Now, according to this agreement, any third party which attacks Hyder Ali or the Britishers, okay, any third party which attacks Hyder Ali or Britishers, they both will be defending, they both will be supporting each other. That is, they both will be helping each other if a third party attacks any one of them. This is the Madras Treaty. Okay, so the Madras Treaty is clear. The Madras Treaty is what? The Madras Treaty is, if any third party attacks Hyder Ali or the Britishers, both of them have to help each other, right? And the first Anglo-Mysore war ended with the Madras Treaty. The first Anglo-Mysore war ended with the Madras Treaty.